Probably could have given ourselves a little bit better of a chance to try to get it to a game 3 to give our fans an opportunity to cheer us on here at home, and that's kind of what stunk about it. But
WNBA draft is this huge success, and it's like anybody that's paying attention, like, this is the biggest star in sports.
She's not your typical rookie, but in order to, win the championship, you gotta guard the best player. So I'm up for the challenge.
Did you see that game? Dewanna Bonner just went after Caitlin Clark like it was personal. No foul called, nothing. And Clark, she kept her cool like a total boss. Let's talk about how this rookie is changing the game and why the WNBA needs to step up. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's rewriting the rule book. This rookie stormed into the WNBA like a hurricane, leading all first-year players in scoring and assists. We're talking 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 8.4 assists per game. That's not rookie numbers, that's superstar stuff. You know what's even crazier? When Clark started playing, WNBA viewership shot up 143%. That's not a typo. People are tuning in just to watch her play. But here's the thing, when you're that good, not everyone's happy about it. Some players might be looking to take her down a peg. Fame comes at a price. And for Caitlin Clark, that price might be higher than anyone expected. Are you ready to see what happens when a rookie becomes the league's biggest target? Clark's dominating the league, but at what cost? She's racking up points, but she's also collecting bruises. Is this rookie getting targeted, or is it just part of the game?
wanting to be like them. So I think continuing to uplift and, represent this league in a positive way is the best thing that we can do. That's great, and you have an opportunity to come back the next game and, try to play a little bit better and give yourself a chance to take it back home and win.
She's the biggest star in all of sports, and she's a woman. This is very unique. No woman's ever been asked to carry this burden.
You'd think being a superstar would be all glitz and glamour, right? Well, not for Caitlin Clark. This rookie sensation is lighting up the scoreboard, but she's also becoming a magnet for some seriously rough play. And get this, it's not just a few isolated incidents. We're talking about a pattern that's raising eyebrows across the league. Remember that eye poke incident with DJI Carrington? Yeah, that wasn't just a one-off thing. It sparked a whole debate about whether it was an accident or if players are deliberately going after Clark. And it's not just fans wondering, even the analysts are starting to ask questions. But here's the kicker, Clark herself is feeling the heat. She's not staying quiet about it either. Check out what she said. "I feel like I'm getting hammered, and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's not just rookie jitters talking. That's a player who's feeling singled out on the court. And you know what's wild? The numbers back her up. Get this. Clark received 177% of the league's flagrant fouls during the season. That's not a typo. 177%. It's like there's a giant bullseye on her back and everyone's taking aim. So what's going on here? Are players jealous of her success? Are they trying to throw her off her game? Or is this just the price you pay for being the new face of the league? Here's the thing, it's not just about Clark. This whole situation is opening up a can of worms about player safety in the WNBA. Fans and analysts are starting to wonder if the refs are letting too much slide. Are they turning a blind eye to the extra physical play, or is this just part of the game? But here's where it gets really interesting. You'd think all this rough stuff would slow Clark down, right? Make her second guess herself or lose her cool. Nope. Not even close. This rookie is showing the kind of mental toughness you usually see in seasoned vets. Instead of complaining or backing down, Clark is stepping up her game.
I had to learn, I had to figure out these moments, I had to grow through the losses that we took in the playoffs, and now I feel like I'm better and I understand it a little bit more.
These rookies have put on quite a season, and it's not just Caitlin and Angel, Rickea Jackson and other rookies are killing it this year.
I feel like the best thing that I've tried to live by is to just be the same person that I am off the court, whether I'm, leaving my apartment every single day or whether I'm here sitting in front of all of you.
She's not letting the physical play throw her off. If anything, it seems to be fueling her. She's still out there, game after game, putting up those crazy numbers we talked about earlier. And that's what's really blowing people's minds. It's not just that Clark is talented. We knew that already. It's that she's got the kind of resilience you can't teach. She's facing challenges that would make most rookies crumble, and she's meeting them head on. You thought Clark had faced it all, but the basketball world was about to erupt over a shocking incident. In the heat of a crucial playoff game, tensions boiled over. But was it just normal playoff intensity, or did things go too far? The answer might surprise you, and it's got everyone talking about where we draw the line in professional sports. Picture this: a packed arena, fans on the edge of their seats, and two teams battling it out in a high-stakes playoff showdown. The energy is electric, and at the center of it all is Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation who's been turning heads all season. But what happened next left everyone stunned. Clark goes up for a three-pointer, her signature move. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Dewanna comes flying in. It's not just a contest, it's a collision. Clark hits the deck hard, and the crowd holds its breath. But here's the kicker: no whistle. The refs let it slide, and the game goes on like nothing happened. You'd think that would be the end of it, right? Not even close. Clark and Bonner get into it, exchanging words right there on the court. The crowd's going wild, and social media, it explodes. Within minutes, everyone's got an opinion, and most of them aren't pretty. People are calling Bonner's move a cheap shot. They're not just mad, they're furious. Fans and analysts alike are demanding action. They want Bonner fined. Some are even calling for a suspension. It's like the whole basketball world is up in arms, defending Clark like she's their own daughter. But here's where it gets really interesting. How do you think Clark responded to all this? Did she lose her cool? Demand justice? Nope. She stayed cool as a cucumber. Check out what she said: "Stay focused about what's on the floor and my 4 other teammates." That's it. No drama, no complaints, just pure focus. Now, you might be thinking, sure, she said that, but it must have rattled her, right? Well, the stats tell a different story. Yeah, her shooting was off. She only made 4 out of 17 shots. But think about it. She's a rookie in a playoff game getting knocked around, and she's still out there giving it her all. That's not just talent, that's mental toughness. This whole incident, it's not just about one play or one game. It's opened up a big can of worms about how the game is played and officiated. People are asking tough questions. Is the league doing enough to protect its stars? Are the refs letting too much slide? And how do you balance physical play with player safety? But here's the thing that's really got everyone talking: Clark's response. In a world where every little thing gets blown up on social media, where players are quick to call each other out, Clark took the high road. She didn't make excuses, didn't point fingers. She just focused on her game and her team.
That's I've been waiting all season. And I know Aaliyah Boston has been supportive of Caitlin Clark, but Aaliyah Boston has a different personality.
Kind of swatted at Caitlin. Did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
For myself, like coming in, right off my college season and then coming right to the WNBA, having that reset has been something that I probably haven't had in like a year.
Clark's focus was admirable, but the real test was yet to come. Imagine facing not just one tough defender, but an entire league seemingly determined to shut you down. That's exactly what Clark encountered, and her reaction defied all expectations. You'd think a rookie would crumble under that kind of pressure, right? Not Caitlin Clark. This girl's got nerves of steel. When the going got tough, Clark didn't just get going. She kicked it into overdrive. Let's talk about mental toughness for a second. It's one thing to have talent, but it's a whole other ball game to keep your cool when everyone's gunning for you. Clark didn't just handle the pressure, she thrived on it. Every hard foul, every no call, every cheap shot, it all just seemed to fuel her fire. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sure, she's tough, but did all that rough stuff mess with her game? Well, yes and no. Here's the deal: Clark's shooting took a hit. In one crucial playoff game, she only made 4 out of 17 shots. That's a rough 23.5% if you're counting. But here's the kicker: even on an off night, she was still out there leading her team. You want to talk about crazy stats? Check this out. Clark received 177% of the league's flagrant fouls. Let that sink in for a second. 177%. That's not just a target on her back. That's a whole firing range aimed straight at her. But did she complain? Did she throw a fit? Nope. She just kept playing her game. And let me tell you, her game is something else. Clark didn't just play, she dominated. She became the first player to record 2 triple-doubles in a single season. That's not rookie stuff. That's legend material right there. But wait, it gets better. You know what happens when you consistently perform at that level, even when everyone's trying to knock you down? You get recognized. And boy, did Clark get recognized. She wasn't just voted Rookie of the Year, she was unanimously voted Rookie of the Year. That's every single vote, people. In a league full of incredible talent, Clark stood head and shoulders above the rest. Now, let's talk about impact. Clark didn't just change games. games, she changed her entire team. Before she showed up, the Indiana Fever were in a slump. We're talking multiple losing seasons. But with Clark on the court, they turned it all around. Suddenly, the Fever weren't just competitive, they were a force to be reckoned with.
Maybe after game 4, maybe game 5 is like, you know, these lessons are really going to pay off for us in the end when we get down the stretch, and I think they certainly did.
And then her just confidence, you can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair, like she's a performer.
Wants to scream Black Lives Matter, wants to push some sort of political agenda. She just wants the ball.
And it wasn't just about the wins and losses. Clark brought something else to the table: excitement. People weren't just watching Fever games, they were tuning in specifically to see her play. She made every game an event, every play a potential highlight reel. But here's what really sets Clark apart. It's not just her skill or her toughness or even her impact on the game. It's her attitude. In a world where it's so easy to complain, to make excuses, to point fingers, Clark just puts her head down and plays. She doesn't waste time whining about the rough treatment. She lets her game do the talking. And boy, does her game have a lot to say. Every assist, every three-pointer, every impossible play, it's like Clark's sending a message. You can try to stop me, but you can't break me. That's not just talent. That's not just toughness. That's the kind of mindset that turns good players into legends. Caitlin Clark isn't just changing games, she's shaking up the whole WNBA. This rookie's making waves, and it's not just about her skills. Her presence is sparking some serious conversations about player safety. You know what's wild? Fans, players, and coaches are all calling for stricter rules to protect stars like Clark. It's not just about one player, it's about the future of women's basketball. But here's the real kicker: Clark's toughness in the face of all this rough stuff. It's inspiring. People are starting to think her resilience might actually lead to some big changes in how the league handles player treatment. So here's the million-dollar question: is this the start of a new era in the WNBA? One where star power and safety go hand in hand? What do you think? Should the WNBA change its rules to protect players like Clark? Let us know what you think.